Be True to You Summit starts on Monday. And one of the recurring themes that you'll hear in the sessions is that we need to reframe what the word failure means. What does it mean to you? Now, I'm a huge baseball fan, and so you may have heard me say this before, but it's worth repeating. Baseball is a game of failure. Even the best of the best baseball players have a batting average of around 300. That means that the best baseball players ever fail 70% of the time. Does that make them quit because they're not good enough? Heck no. They get right back in that same batter's box during their next at bat and try again. Why don't we do the same thing? What does failure really indicate? It might be that it's just not time yet for whatever you were trying to do, or it might mean that you're talking to the wrong people. It might even mean that you were wrong about something or someone. Either way, failure only creates thoughts that drive your emotions about it. In other words, failure means whatever you make it mean. Just you, no one else. The good news is that you can actually change the meaning of failure. I was thinking about the times in my life when I failed at something. And I'm always looking for the common denominator. Do you know what the only single common denominator is between the failures in my life? I learned something from them. Let that sink in for a minute. Has there ever been a time in your life when you failed and you didn't learn something? It's possible, and you might notice that in repeating patterns throughout your life, but I promise you there was something to be learned. What if we could reframe failure to be a lesson learned? When I was working in a startup right before the dot-com bust at the early part of my corporate career, our CEO, now he didn't like titles, but that was the role he was filling, said that mistakes, which you could think of as failures, are tuition. You pay the tuition, the consequences, you learn from it, and hopefully you don't make the same mistake the next time. We were all learning a new industry that hadn't even existed before, and pretty much all of us were making up our jobs as we went along. I loved his approach because it gave us all permission to just try something. Like I've said before, done is better than perfect. Of course, if you never try, you're never going to fail. But honestly, isn't trying and failing better than doing nothing? Whether it's in your job, your relationships, or the way you treat yourself, why not try? If you fail, what are the real consequences of that failure versus what you make that failure mean? Next time you try and fail, first, celebrate the fact that you even tried. Then look for the lesson. What did that failure teach you? Who knows? You may even find that that failure could be saving you from something much worse. If you're ready to reframe failure and release yourself from that idea of perfect, because guess what? It doesn't exist. I hope you'll join us for our free 5-day virtual summit called Be True to You, Free Yourself from the Bonds of Perfectionism. It runs from October 10th to the 14th. And if you're seeing this video after October 10th, no worries at all. There are 5 speakers every day, and each session will be available for 48 hours, so there's still time to join. Check it out by clicking on the link below, and I hope to see you there.